are these people?
So we have a couple of lightning round articles. I just wanted to briefly go over them. I'll drop the links again in the description afterwards. You'll be able to read them in full, but they're really long. And this one was, as an audio, almost 25 minutes long. From Jonathan Cook, another Indie Media Award honoree. He's from the inaugural class of 2022 and one of the best out there, always been a fan. He talks about breaking free of media groupthink and that it's scary. I know, I was forced to do it. And we talk about conditioning your news feed. We talk about changing your consumption model so that you're not constantly engaging with trolls because the algorithms reflect whatever you engage with. So the more you argue with those trolls, the more the algorithm wants to show you those trolls because it thinks that it's keeping you engaged to do so. All right. So Jonathan lays out here that, number one, you have to commit career suicide and be willing to shun all of the norms and institutions that you once held dear because they all participate in groupthink. You then become an outcast. You then regress in media. All right. And this is where I'm almost at right now because I'm struggling to find sources, more reliable sources that I trust. And I'm actually writing an article about this specifically when it comes to labor, but it's not just about labor. It just feels like the number of outlets that are trustworthy, even amongst Indie Media Award honorees, has dipped significantly in the last 2 to 3 years. And that is because there are so many different things to cover and so many different angles to cover it from. It's really hard to navigate and get it all right and have the correct angle and position and skepticism across the board. And there are so few that I feel that are, sadly. Why are we so craven? All right. Here's an outline of the various pressures, some practical, others structural. Partisan reporters, right? And again, this is very long. And this talks about Rafi Berg and the BBC. We extensively covered that story. All right. The partisan bureau staff and media lobby groups. All of this machine to ensure the narrative continues. Talking about If Americans Knew, which also is Israel-Palestine News. All right. In 2004, Israeli staff at the AP news agency's bureau in Jerusalem had refused to either use or return video footage sent in by a Palestinian cameraman that showed Israeli soldiers shooting an unarmed youth in the abdomen. Instead, they destroyed the tape. Like, it's a blanketed campaign across a series of industries and groups to ensure that this continues, that this groupthink continues. And then what do we have to do? We have to rebuild our worldview. All right. And again, this is in the context of the BBC and Israel, but it can really be applied universally. I also wanted to shout out, I am an annual paid subscriber to a Lilybit. Don't always agree with what she has to say, but I really respect and love the perspective. And her article says that I'm so goddamn tired of pretending that this is all normal. And I started reading this and like, I almost wanted to share it with my wife. Like, I feel like normies might relate to this, even people that aren't plugged in. Right. But that, and how poisonous a lot of the stuff that we're ingesting a lot is. Talking about here vapes and how school kids are getting hooked on vapes. Kids who don't even have bank cards are organizing bulk nicotine orders through Snapchat and Discord, sucking down mango ice and cherry freeze and cotton candy cloud in bathroom stalls between algebra and history class. Right. Again, and that's just one little permeation of life. And it says, while we believe we're in control, we've long been part of a game we can't win anymore. We've gotten used to addiction as everyday life, not as a problem, but as the normal state. Addiction to our phones, addiction to social media, addictions. And she talks and criticizes THC and cannabis and the legalization and normalization of this, of that as well, which I'm in favor of. But TikTok, Instagram Reels, all right, grabbing you within seconds, the algorithm watches everything. How long you linger on each video, what you replay, what makes you stop scrolling. It then builds a psychological profile more detailed than any therapist could create, and then uses it to serve you exactly what'll keep you paralyzed. 9 boring videos, then one that makes you laugh. Back to mediocre content, then something that triggers outrage. They're not just showing you content, they're conducting behavioral conditioning on a mass scale. This is, again, a fascinating article that is lengthy. Like I said, it's lengthy, but worth the read. And I highly encourage you read it. And if you don't want to read it, you can load the Substack app, and there's actually a listen to mode for free. So you can listen to this in reader mode and have it dictated to you. Very cool. Subscribe to A Lily Bit and support her independent journalism. I paid, I think I paid it was like $1 a month, but I got it for like $8 a year. She dropped the price to for a limited time, just to have some stake, just for some dollar amount, because it helps that algorithm. I also wanted to point out that we did show this Banksy painting. You remember when Banksy painted that thing on the side of the court in London? It was actually, I believe, the court that Julian Assange was in, but it's the Palestinian girl getting beaten by the judge with the with
He was still
but
here, scrubbed out, obviously.
Check this out. That was the original Banksy painting. Back up. There it was. All right, you see it? She's holding the protest sign, and the judge is actually beating her with his gavel. All right? They tried to sandblast this off, and it left like a shadow, which was actually even more profound than the picture itself. But then they covered it up.
Here, scrubbed out, obviously. But what we found was a boarded up version with security cameras and a padlock.
Look at this.
The lengths they have gone through, because they don't even want you to see the scrubbed out version. So if they don't want us to see it, we're going to wear it. So we put these on t-shirts. You can get these at our website. You can also get the redacted version, because they can't censor what you wear.
I'm not a fan of profiting off of Banksy's work, but I do think that that's an interesting act of defiance. So good on her for trying that. But yeah, the Royal Courts of Justice, that's where Assange was tried in February of 2024. I also wanted to mention this excellent Declassified article that was published yesterday by Martin Williams. Israeli weapons firms set to close their UK wing. This was an investigative article and journalism from Declassified that started to dig into this company, Raphael, and their UK subsidiary, and it found that it basically was an intel front. It was a shadow of a company. It didn't really exist. I could have easily put this in the Fuck Israel segment, but I didn't. But I definitely want people to take a look at this one. All right. Our UK System Limited is registered in London, but records show that it's a subsidiary of Israel's state-owned arms giant, Raphael. How are they allowed to operate in the UK? All right. They donated at least $1,500 to partner with a cross-party group of MPs. How is that legal? Westminster authorities subsequently launched an inquiry into the APPG's chairman, and the group quickly disbanded. Oof. So they tried to co-opt and buy off lawmakers. That didn't happen. Now the firm has launched a so-called First Gazette notice to Companies House, which initiates the process of closing it. Right. They claim that the disclosure is not linked to Declassified's investigation, but no official reason has yet been given. All right, that this building was empty for 6 years. This is crazy.
An arms company owned by the Israeli government has just taken its entire website offline after our investigation revealed that it had given money to a group of British politicians.
And now it seems to have disappeared altogether.
The building is empty.
It's empty?
Yeah, for the last 6 years or something like that.
6 years?
Yeah.
The company documents show that they're registered here.
Yes.
There doesn't seem to be any sign of them.
It's called RUK Advanced Systems Limited, and officially it's registered in London. The website claims, "We're good people committed to creating positive change." So let's have a look at some of the nice things that these good people do. Well, they sell missiles designed for urban combat, and they sell torpedoes with hard kill capabilities.
These are the official documents from when RUK Advanced Systems Limited was set up in 2022.
They show that although it's registered in London, all the shares in the company are actually held by Rafael, which is a state-owned Israeli arms firm. Rafael was founded in 1948 under an arm of the Israeli Defense Forces, and it's been responsible for making many of the missiles and drones that Israel uses to bomb Gaza. In particular, their infamous spike-guided missiles have been called out for causing huge numbers of civilian casualties. Recently, Rafael even made a promo video that showed its drone system tracking and killing someone in Gaza.
All right. So go watch this video. Go support Declassified UK, another Indie Media Award honoree for top outlet. And support independent media in general. If you can and are able to support independent media with a tip of the network, ways to do that: Cash App, $, Indie News Network, co-v.com/Indie News Network. You got paypal.me/Indie News Network. Do that as friends and family. You got the website, IndieNewsNow.com. And that's where we're live right now. You can also check out news. And then the Substacks, IndieMediaToday.com, where we are live right now, and INNNewsletter.com, where you can get a weekly update of all the different shows at INN. See you next Tuesday. So support independent media. Like I said, we need it more than ever. I'll see you next week. And I love you all, fam. Have a good night. No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, and I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to me, but God, it's so hard.